Welcome to the Franklin American Mortgage Music City Bowl as part of Capital One Bowl Mania. From Nashville, Tennessee, it's the ACC versus the SEC. Texas A&M against surging Louisville. Aggies in a period of transition. Their two-star quarterbacks have both transferred over the last month. And for more on that, let's take you down to the field where Laura Rutledge is standing by with Kevin Sumlin.
Coach, after the regular season, you have your top two quarterbacks transfer. What has that experience been like for you?
It's a bit of a different one, but Jake's ready to roll. He's waited his turn, played, been all over the place. So, experienced veteran guy. Looking forward to seeing him play.
How has the team responded to Jake taking over at quarterback?
Our guys have been great, and like I said earlier, inside, we've handled things great. I'm just anxious to see us play.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
So no Kyle Allen, no Kyler Murray. Tom Hart alongside Andre Ware, and it's the first career start for Jake Hubenak at Texas A&M tonight. He's had limited playing opportunities this season behind both Allen and Murray. But once that carousel stopped spinning, Hubenak was the last man standing. And so he'll take the snaps tonight for A&M. We'll see what else they do behind center.
Yeah, all season long, Tom, it was how do you manage? They were faced with how to manage two young five-star quarterbacks. And a few weeks ago, as Laura just told us, they both transferred out. And so now they're left with that young man, Jake Hubenak, who had a heck of a season a year ago at Blinn Junior College, throwing for over 4,000 yards in just 8 games. We might just get a peek into the future at Texas for Texas A&M at quarterback.
John Wallace, a senior from Kentucky, will get us underway. Christian Kirk, one of the most dangerous return men in the game, back for Texas A&M alongside James White. Good crowd in Nashville tonight on a chilly evening on the banks of the Cumberland River. We are ready to get going from Music City. Knuckleball. Kirk waits on it, finally scoops it at the 6. Christian Kirk has great speed. He takes it out to the 25. Clay, thank you, and welcome to Nashville. It's the ACC versus the SEC, the Franklin American Mortgage Music City Bowl, as part of Capital One Bowl Mania. Tom Hart, Andre Ware, Laura Rutledge with you, and a new quarterback for Texas A&M. Kyler Murray and Kyle Allen both transferred after the end of the season. So the wheel stops on Jake Hubenak, a junior college transfer, making his first start.
Yeah, limited action this year. Only threw 27 passes the entire season at 44%. He did have a touchdown pass. Very familiar with this offense.
And he'll throw on first down. Incomplete right off the bat, trying to get it to Damian Ratley. We got flags on the play, and Ratley's still on the turf. James Burgess delivered the hit.
Well, looks like Ratley may have had the wind knocked out of him.
Shaq Wiggins is also still on the ground, victim of friendly fire apparently from Burgess. This would be a huge loss for Louisville.
Yeah, they really depend on Wiggins on the back end. Excellent field corner, which means he's going to be in a lot of man-to-man situations, chasing receivers across the field. And I don't know. I don't think that's targeting.
What part of it makes you doubt it?
It's just, he goes in with a shoulder as opposed to launching, or maybe the helmet to helmet, and that may be what the officials looked at in that situation.
It's a call.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Number 13 is disqualified.
And the key there is it was not confirmed. It simply stands, and James Burgess, in his final game in a Louisville uniform, will play all of one down.
Well, that's tough. That is tough.
43rd career start tonight, and it ends after 11 seconds. Back to Texas A&M quarterback Jake Hubenak, sophomore from Georgetown, Texas, was injured most of his junior year of high school. During the recruiting process, all those phone calls stopped coming his junior year. took his team to the state championship, just one loss his senior season. That time he scrambles for 6.
Yeah, what the break in action did for Jake Hubenek was to basically settle him down. You got butterflies going through your stomach, a little nervous. What time with a review actually gave him a chance to settle in.
Here's Trey Carson, who's been a workhorse for Texas A&M this season. Able to pick up 3, and that's going to leave 3rd and short for the Aggies.
And Carson over 1,000 yards this year, the first back to do that at Texas A&M since Cyrus Gray. It's been a while since they've had a 1,000-yard rusher.
Pressure coming on Hubenek. Goes to the slant, and it's incomplete through the hands of Josh Reynolds. And A&M will bring out the punt team.
Well, this is usually a point on the field with Kevin Sumlin, Jake Spavital, that they may take a look at going for it, but you're right, they're going to trot out Drew Kaiser. He's thrown right behind him. You know, he got all the reps during bowl practice, knew that he was going to be the starter, had a lot of work, but nothing like the speed of the game at that position.
Drew Kaiser's been excellent for A&M all season long. No chance for a return here, but the Aggies can't get it before it breaks the plane of the end zone. So we told you about Jake Hubenek making his first start in the quarterback carousel for Texas A&M. It was a similar situation with Louisville all season long. First 3 weeks of the season, they started 3 different quarterbacks. Finally, Lamar Jackson got a true opportunity off the bench against Kentucky, and all he did was shred the Wildcats defense in a final regular season game. He is just a freshman, and they have high expectations for this guy.
Yeah, he leads the team in rushing, a dynamic dual threat quarterback that just dazzles you with his legs. He is developing as a passer, but talking with Garrick McGee, their offensive coordinator, he says he's a once in a coaching career type player.
Out of the shotgun, he'll show a little bit of option and keep it to the left side. Louisville worked on a lot of new things during the bowl practices. Number 1 is putting Lamar Jackson under center.
Right.
It's something that he wants to do going forward, and it's something that Bobby Petrino's really doing to evolve this offense.
Yeah, he came to Louisville because he wanted to learn how to play quarterback from under center. Was in the shotgun most of his career in high school.
Another option look. He keeps it again. And he picks up another first down. And this is a new look for Louisville. Over the course of the season, Lamar Jackson ran it 141 times. He only ran the option 7 times. He's already done it twice tonight.
I would stick right with it the way the production's coming early in this ball game. For Bobby Petrino, I had a chance to talk with him earlier in the week, and he said it's changed him as a play caller and how to manage Lamar Jackson. He's used to pocket passers and guys getting the ball out on time. This is uncharted waters for Petrino.
Now Jackson will roll. He dumps it off to a receiver. Plenty of room down the sideline for Louisville. Cole Hicatini still going. And he takes it all the way to the 5. Devontae Harris finally tracks him down. A gain of 58 in the catch and run.
Sometimes it's not clean for a quarterback, and you just have to make a play. And it's the tight end in the flat, and all you got to do is drop it over 2 defenders. Lamar Jackson off to an outstanding start in this ball game for Louisville.
Louisville's already used 3 different running backs. Brandon Radcliffe back there now. And they go to Hicatini for just his 17th catch of the season. There's a lot of weapons on this Louisville offense. Here's Radcliffe. Gets caught up in traffic and taken down by Alonzo Williams. Very talented Texas A&M front 4, especially their defensive ends.
Yeah, no doubt about it. In the middle as well, Dalen Mack, I think, you know, he started to really make a name for himself. Alonzo Williams as well, but the 2 stars of this defense, Garrett and Hall, on the outsides.
They've combined for 18.5 sacks this season. Still out of the shotgun on 2nd and goal. Jackson keeps it. Hall whiffs on him, and Jackson will dance in. Touchdown Louisville. From 6 yards out, it's Lamar Jackson.
Tom, I was excited to see this young man play. When you watch the film, he is something special. And right away, reads the option perfectly, makes Deshaun Hall miss. A sure tackler in most games, but you're talking about a special player that the country getting to see tonight. This could be his breakout game.
Extra point is good. A 5-play, 80-yard scoring drive for Louisville. They pick up right where they left off in the season finale in their comeback win against Kentucky. Lamar Jackson with perfect touch on the dump to Kohikatini. 56 yards later, Louisville set up, and Jackson, the freshman, takes care of it himself. From Nashville, Tennessee, the Franklin American Mortgage Music City Bowl. Louisville strikes first 7-0 lead on Texas A&M. Welcome back. Tom Hart alongside Heisman winner Andre Ware. Lamar Jackson is just a freshman. He doesn't look like it. But 3 different quarterbacks have started for Louisville, and now we see why the Cardinals coaching staff is still so high in this guy.
Yeah, well, plays well beyond his years, knows how to manage the game, and he gets guys around it to just kind of gravitate to him. Even the other quarterbacks, they're going through this quarterback competition. They wind up helping him to how to adjust in the offense, and then how to take it from the practice field to the game field. We're getting a chance to see why he was the number 8 dual threat in the country coming out of high school.
And that teamwork certainly makes it easier and more enjoyable for this coaching staff. Quite a contrast to what's been happening in College Station all season with their quarterback carousel.
Yeah, totally different situations. Louisville knows the future at that position. Still up in the air for Texas A&M.
Justin Evans for Texas A&M takes it out to the 28-yard line. Here's what's gone on for Texas A&M. Since Johnny Manziel won the Heisman, they have yet to fill his shoes. Kenny Hill got the Aggies off to a 5-0 start last season. He started 8 games before losing his job and then transferred in the offseason to TCU. On came Kyle Allen, tail end of last year. This year, he got him off to a 5-0 start. Was injured, ineffective. He lost his job to Kyler Murray. Allen and Murray, 2 5-star recruits trying to coexist in this program. It didn't work for either one. Murray started 3 games, led him to the best offensive output of the season against South Carolina. And on Christmas Eve, announcing he was going to transfer. He'll be in an Oklahoma uniform going forward. Third possession for the Aggies tonight. Trey Carson with the carry. Power back, and he's able to push the pile a little bit. Been a very interesting end of the season till now for this Texas A&M team. And we got a pile up on top of the pile. Well, for more on that, let's go down to Laura Rutledge.
Tom, Kevin Sumlin described the transfers of Kyler Murray and also Kyle Allen within a week as very different. But he said that they're all rallying around Jake Hubenak and that he's waited his turn. He's worked really hard for this chance. Jake Spavital, the offensive coordinator, told us that he has all the faith in the world in Jake Hubenak. But sometimes he's so calm it can be creepy. He said you can't tell if he's nervous, but he thinks he might be a little bit nervous tonight.
I guarantee you he's a little nervous making his first start in a bowl game.
Another snap for Christian Kirk out of the Wildcat. Gives it to Trey Carson, who's immediately popped and ping-pongs around for a gain of 2. Sheldon Rankins, all-conference performer from his end spot. First man to hit him.
Yeah, he's the team's defensive MVP. I talked to Todd Grantham this week, and I said, you know, sack numbers doesn't necessarily mean you're the best pass rusher. He pointed right to Sheldon Rankins as the team's defensive MVP. Excellent against the run.
Hubenak chased, and he's taken down inside the 10. Devontae Fields. It's a loss of 12.
Remember that name. Yes, he was the defensive MVP of the Big 12 as a true freshman. Had 18.5 tackles for a loss and 10 sacks, and you're not getting away from that type of talent.
He's been on fire late over his last 7 games now. That is his 6th sack to go along with 32 tackles. He's really come onto his own second half of the season. A line drive punt fielded by Alexander at the 48. Room up the middle. Here he goes. Jair Alexander all the way to the 20. And Louisville with fantastic field position. 40-yard punt, 32-yard return.
4 returns of over 20 yards this year as a true freshman. A lot of young talent for Bobby Petrino and this Louisville Cardinal football team. What excellent field position they're going to give Lamar Jackson to start this drive.
Jackson has already rushed for 1 touchdown tonight. He's averaging 10 yards a carry. Radcliffe and L.J. Scott join him in the backfield. Under center for the first time is Lamar Jackson. He's been operating out of the shotgun all evening. Handoff Radcliffe, and he gets dropped immediately. It's a gain of 1. Kingsley Kiki there.
Keep an eye on James Quick. He's the most dynamic of the receivers for Louisville. Consistent all season long, 5 touchdown receptions, and they love to go to him down in this area.
He's got great ball skills. He's lined up in the slot right now. Inside Jalen Smith on the left side of the Louisville formation. Radcliffe was moving forward at the snap. Lamar Jackson takes off again inside the 10 and lost a football on his way down. A&M pounced on it. They ruled him down at the 5-yard line. A 15-yard run. Sean Washington recovered the football, but the runner Lamar Jackson ruled down.
I'll tell you what, he is smooth when he shows the football, gets everybody to bite, clearly down with the elbow when the ball comes out. But he had me fooled. I thought the ball had gone inside. The next thing you know, he's pulling it and making a play down the field once again.
Toss to Bonifant. He's got a blocker. Bonifant gets pushed out at about the 1.5 yards. Richard Moore comes up to make the stop, and that'll set up 2nd and goal for the Cards.
Yeah, and Louisville, they will flip their offensive line. They have a strong side and a quick side. And that means Aaron Epps will always be to the tight end. So sometimes he'll line up at right tackle. He'll sometimes line up at left tackle. But the tight end will follow to the strong side. And then Jaron Christian, he's the guy that's basically always one-on-one. He's got one of those edge rushers to deal with every snap.
And Christian, just a freshman. On 2nd and goal. Room for Jackson, and he fires complete. Mickey Crum, the tight end. A 2-yard touchdown strike.
This is to the strong side with Aaron Epps. You'll see 78 block, the tight end to that side, block down, and then free himself to the flat. It's timed perfectly from Lamar Jackson getting outside of the pass rush.
One of the things Bob Petrino talked to us about was with the shotgun spread. It took them out a lot of their shifts and motions. Now with Jackson under center, they can install more of those plays that Petrino wants to run. That was a quick scoring drive. 4 plays in 21 yards, but the extra point is wide. See if that comes into play. First missed extra point for John Wallace this season. He'd made the previous 43.
When there, the laces pointed right back at him. I mean, the holder's got to do a better job of spinning that baby and getting the laces away from the kicker. I guarantee you, when he looked down and saw the laces just that split second, that plays between the ears of any kicker.
Short kick taken at the 11 by Christian Kirk. Kirk, fancy move. Slips his way to the 30. Nice return for the freshman from Scottsdale, Arizona. Thus far for Texas A&M, nothing going in the passing game.
This is a team coming in averaging about 250 yards. It really dropped off the last couple of weeks of the season.
Trey Carson picks up just 5. And then what does that do for the Louisville defense if all of a sudden A&M becomes one-dimensional? Todd Grantham must be licking his chops.
Yeah, and I joked with him this week about it. He just continues to find ways to get pass rush without blitzing. And now it's basically let's control the running game and have fun getting to the quarterback.
Hubenak lobs it over the middle, and it's batted away.
Boy,
Chucky
excellent.
Williams, the safety, with the play over Christian Kirk.
Excellent play on the back end by Chucky Williams, who came into this game 57 tackles, 3 picks. But watch the coverage. Watch him recover. Because Christian Kirk, if it's laid out in front, it's a race to the end zone by Kirk and Williams. But it's thrown a little bit short, which allowed Chucky Williams to get back into the play.
Jake Hubenak 0 for 4 tonight. A&M 0 for 3 on 3rd downs. This is a 3rd and 5.
There's Devontae Fields. Big play already in this ball game. 3rd down. This is where he shines.
They bring only 4. Hubenak with the out route, fantastic hands, and a leaping catch by Josh Reynolds. All 6'4" of them spread out for a gain of 7 and a 1st down.
Yeah, this is a kid with Josh Reynolds. I think he's their best receiver. Just continues to make plays. Didn't have a Division I offer coming out of high school. Went to Tyler Junior College and then made himself a player. Making a lot of coaches regret that they didn't recruit him out of high school.
Carson can't find the edge, and he's brought down in the open field. Big play, Sheldon Rankins. For more on Shaq Wiggins, let's check in with Laura.
Yeah, Tom, Wiggins came out of the locker room, was running around a little bit. They were trying to get him to jump up and down. He continues, as you can see, to be stretching that back out. He's been on the bike. They moved the heat lamp closer to the bike to try to get him warmed up, but there's definitely still some stiffness there. They did give him back his helmet, obviously, so he's trying to come back in the game.
Well, you know my theory about if Shaq Wiggins, if he comes back in the game, who am I throwing at?
You're going right
I'm going right
6.
at Shaq Wiggins.
2nd and 13. Hubenek. Wide open, Reynolds. Defender slipped, and Reynolds misses an opportunity by going out of bounds at the 28-yard line. It's a 33-yard gain.
Yeah, and this is uncharted waters for Tremaine Washington. He is usually the boundary corner, but with Shaq Wiggins out, he's having to play some field corner. And he's the one, he falls down, and it leaves Josh Reynolds wide open. That actually should have been a touchdown if it's thrown a little better.
Longest play of the game thus far for Texas A&M. Carson to the 25-yard line, gain of 3. Stacey Thomas playing behind James Burgess, who was ejected after just one play with the tackle.
Yeah, he was healthy all season. Trey Carson, after missing the spring with an injury, a big durable back who is in great shape. He can carry it 30-plus times.
Last 5 games, he's averaged 20 carries and over 100 yards per game for Texas A&M. He's been the one constant in this offense. Hubenek trying to scramble, and he goes head first for the first down.
Looked like another Louisville defender, slow to get up.
That's Stacey Thomas,
who's actually in the game because James Burgess has been ejected for targeting.
Already lost one linebacker. That was Trayvon Young. Burgess ejected, and Thomas the backup Mike linebacker.
And Hubenek finally settling in here, which is crazy.
Blitz coming again from the edge. They run right past it. Carson cuts back. He's in. Touchdown Aggies and Trey Carson.
Oh, what a nice cutback run here by Trey Carson, the big physical back right here. Watch him put that right foot down, make 2 defenders miss, and then walk right into the end zone. Nice job there by Carson.
Eight plays, 70-yard drive, 2:57 off the clock for Texas A&M. And the extra point from Taylor Bertolet is good. Big play, the completion of Josh Reynolds on that drive. Jair Alexander and Travion Samuel back for Louisville. Samuel picks it up a yard in, and he'll take it out to the 18-yard line. And we get to see more of Lamar Jackson. This guy is as promising. He is fun to watch. Jackson wants to throw, and he finds his man Quick. Quick went over the top before Sean Washington got him, gain of 7.
He's a fun player to watch as well. They're better weapons in the passing game, and they will use him, and he's excellent after the catch. You see,
there's those shifts that Bobby Petrino wants to run, moving the tight ends around. And there's room on the outside for Brandon Radcliffe. And we'll see where the spot is. We'll be right near the marker. Nick Harvey rode him out of bounds.
Well, that's encouraging if you're Bobby Petrino. Watching your true freshman quarterback audible at the line of scrimmage. Now he's going from one run to from one side, which was going right initially, and took it left. But still, to recognize the defense and do it as such a young player, it's refreshing, because you don't see it much in college football.
Lamar Jackson keeps it on the zone read. He's got a blocker or two, and he's got open field. Lamar Jackson to the 25. A juke move there. Another lead in. And he's in the end zone for the second time. A scintillating 61-yard run for the freshman Lamar Jackson. But we got a flag all the way back at the 44.
This could be coming back. We talked about his dual threat ability. Able to complete passes and then take off like that, but it's coming back.
Personal foul. Face mask, number 7 defense.
No, it's not.
Resulting in a touchdown. The 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
the only time he's been knocked down, and it came from one of his own teammates in the celebration. 7 carries, 126 yards, and 2 touchdowns. We're not out of the first quarter yet.
You are watching a star in the making. And this is a young football team at Louisville. Beware in 2016.
2015's not over yet either. He's got 3 more quarters. John Wallace has missed 1 extra point tonight. Lace is better that time, and he drills it through. They've had some great quarterbacks in Louisville Cardinals history. This may be the next great one.
Well, I mean, he outruns Myles Garrett, shakes a corner and a safety, and then it's a foot race, and just continuing to turn around Devontae Harris on his way into the end zone. Some pretty good football players missing tackles. Watts. And you'll see Harris flash into the screen right about here. Can't get a bead on Lamar Jackson.
Remember when we talked to Garrick McGee this week? We said, is it a concern to try and balance and get productive yards from your tailback position with your quarterback dominating the running game? He said, you know, it is, because we want our tailbacks to be involved, and we're trying to find that balance. But at the end of the day, who cares? If this kid's doing this, let him go.
If it's not broken, don't try to fix it. Don't try to manipulate your way into something else when you don't have to. Get control of the football game with what you do best. And I think it's a credit to Bobby Petrino of adjusting his coaching style to this young man's talents to win football games. Because at the end of the day, that's what Garrick McGee told us. We got to win football games. And if it's adjusting what we do to fit Lamar Jackson, we're going to do it.
After the face mask on Richard Moore, Louisville will kick off from midfield. And that one nearly went through the uprights. James White again. And White only able to find a 1.5 yards. D'Angelo Brown in on the stop for Louisville.
Yeah, Alexander, the true freshman, with a boundary side corner there helping out. And he comes on a blitz. You see, or number 10 down here at the bottom coming in to help out as well.
Trey Carson again. Can't juke Clemens. Those defensive backs coming up on run support, keeping A&M off balance. We've played 1 quarter here in Nashville. Thus far, it's been the Lamar Jackson show. Can A&M get it going? After 1, Louisville 20, Texas A&M 7. Jake Hubenak looking at a 3rd down for Texas A&M. He's 3 of 7 to start this game for 49 yards. 3rd and 6. They bring 5 on the rush. Hubenak trying to run for it, and he dumps it last second, and lucky he wasn't picked. Chucky Williams made a great break on it. He's trying to fit it to Christian Kirk.
Well, if you're going to throw it, you're outside the pocket. Go ahead and throw it where it's safe. Throw it, make sure the ball gets out of bounds. This could have been disaster. He's trying to go back inside to Christian Kirk with a couple of Louisville defenders. Chucky Williams getting his hands on that football.
Jair Alexander driven all the way back inside his 15. Goes back to his 11. Now turns it upfield. And gets taken down from behind. Just past the 30. Sam Miller, excuse me, the 12th man for Texas A&M with the special teams tackle. Jackson hands it off to Bonifon, who got tripped up on the edge by Armani Watts, a gain of 3.
Well, Watts is some open field tackler. And one of his better games against Ole Miss this year. Saw action as a true freshman a year ago. Has everything you need to become a great player.
Watts had 20 tackles in that game. It was the most since Dat Wynn had 20 against UCLA in the '98 Cotton Bowl. Bonifon can't find the edge. Tripped up again. This time it's coming from the other side. And Donovan Wilson, the nickelback for A&M.
Well, you talk about high on this player. John Chavis loves Donovan Wilson. He's a bigger, Honey Badger plays that role for John Chavis here at Texas A&M. A great player that just makes plays all over the field.
5 takeaways this season for Wilson. Louisville has yet to convert a third down tonight. Their offensive line giving up 43 sacks in the season. A&M comes after him, and this one is just lobbed out of bounds.
Smart play.
This Louisville offense has been blitzed more than any other Power 5 team. Pittsburgh blitzed them 9 times on first down in their loss last month.
That's what the point I was trying to make with Hubenek a second ago when it was almost picked off by Shaq Wiggins trying to throw inside as you're rolling out of bounds. You're going to throw it away. Make sure the ball gets out of bounds.
With Kirk injured, it's now Justin Evans in a punt return role for Texas A&M.
Good punt.
Great punt. And Evans will bail on it. Louisville is able to get to it. They're going to mark this one outside the 2. 56-yard punt for Joshua Appleby. Colin Holba won the singing competition earlier this week. Now the long snapper able to get down, and they cover it up there. First down for A&M. Jake Hubenek from the end zone. Gets rid of it quickly. Able to find Josh Reynolds, and he turns it upfield for a first down. Let's check in with Laura.
Tom, good news for Texas A&M. Seems like Christian Kirk will be able to return in this game, dealing with a little bit of a right knee injury. He got on the bike, was able to run full speed on the sideline, seems to have full mobility in that knee, and the athletic trainer gave me the thumbs up saying he's going back in.
All right, Laura, thank you. It's key for them, obviously, on the perimeter, but also the way they're trying to mix in some quarterback run. Off the play action, he's pressured. They spin him around and drop Hubenek. Loss of 3. D'Angelo Brown with the sack, along with Devontae Fields.
Watch the pocket just collapse. Fields outside, sheds the block of Keaton Sutherland, and then makes his way to Jake Hubenek. Really doesn't have time to read things out. That's why the reads have to be a lot quicker.
On second down, here's Kirk back in the game.
That's big.
Gain of 16. Jair Alexander the tackle.
It's a third down and short. You just want to get him the football. Quick reads, allow the playmakers to play a part in this game. Too much pass rush right now from Louisville to let routes develop deep down the field. It's got to be some quicker routes, and the ball's got to come out.
From 3rd and 1 to 3rd and 11. Over the middle, complete. Reynolds as a first down. Big time play from Hubenek to Reynolds. It goes for 20.
Nice job here by Reynolds, and watch the patience of Jake Hubenek. Sit in the pocket, read things out, slide your feet. Don't have to run 4-3 to be effective. Just a little bit of movement inside the pocket to protect yourself.
The throw on first down. Now Hubenek out of options. To the sidelines and caught. It'll turn into a 5-yard gain to Kirk.
Well, mission accomplished by Todd Grantham, because now he's got Jake Hubenek watching the pass rush. He was totally protected there and started to move around. Really no reason to. Still a completion, but Todd Grantham now is playing in the head of Jake Hubenek.
Carson now straight ahead.
Nice.
Trey Carson straight up the middle. Finally wrangled inside the 5 by Alexander. That is a 56-yard rumble for the big fella.
Needed a big play to help the young quarterback out, and it comes in the form of the senior, Trey Carson, right up the middle of the formation. They stopped trying to run laterally. Let's go with some power and go right downhill, and Trey Carson's the one to deliver.
That is the longest Texas A&M play of the year.
A player
longest
down.
running game play, excuse me. And an injured player is Pio Vatuve for Louisville.
Watch this run by Trey Carson. I mean, it's right up the middle. Nice job by Matthews getting to the second level, and then it's just a foot race that ultimately Alexander is able to track down Carson.
2.5 minutes to go in the half. First and goal. James White. Swarmed. Jermaine Reeve, first man there, no gain.
Nice job by James Hearn to not give up leverage outside where James White could bounce that run. He kept him inside and waited on some help from his teammates.
Hubenak looks in zone. Lobs. Touchdown! Ricky Seals-Jones.
Caught Zaire Alexander peeking back into the end zone. And when you get down this close, zone or man, you cannot peek back. When you have that responsibility on the outside, it essentially everything turns into man coverage. He got caught peeking back at Jake Hubenak, who delivered a nice pass to Ricky Seals-Jones for the touchdown.
An 8-play, 97-yard drive. Remember, they were pinned inside the 5 by that great punt. And Trey Carson accounts for 56 of those yards on one run, the longest rush of the season for A&M. What a half for Lamar Jackson. 138 yards on the ground, 193 through the air. And he has been as good as advertised thus far tonight. Let's go to Laura Rutledge, standing by with Bobby Petrino.
Thanks, Tom. Coach, Lamar Jackson with 2 rushing touchdowns, but he's also been able to stand in the pocket and deliver the football when needed. What's allowed him to have the success so far?
Well, we've been able to run our read zone game, get some good blocks out there, and he's able to take the ball and go with it. We've thrown the ball good at times, but not enough to get it in the end zone again. Defensively, we can't give that one up there at the end of the second quarter.
How do you think, other than that, your defense has handled Jake Hubenak?
Well, they've done a nice job except for that long drive. We had them all the way backed up. You'd love to get them off the field and go score right before the half.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
That was a 97-yard drive for A&M, a key one. Once again, our score at the half, Louisville 20, A&M 14. Now let's take it to South Beach. Reese Davis with a Coke Zero halftime report. Welcome to the Franklin American Mortgage Music City Bowl as part of Capital One Bowl Mania from Nashville, Tennessee, and Nissan Stadium. Texas A&M trails Louisville 20-14 as we get ready to start the second half. Tom Hart alongside Andre Ware and joined by Laura Rutledge. Louisville scored on 3 of its first 4 possessions, but nothing since. They've rushed for 171 behind the running of their freshman quarterback Lamar Jackson. He's carried it for 138 yards. What else jumps out at you?
Well, just, you know, his ability to take care of the football. He hadn't been anywhere close to turning the football over other than the fumble, but I meant through the air. He's 8 of 15, 187 yards. So we talk so much about him being a dual threat quarterback coming in. He's been able to do exactly that, make big plays with his legs. He's delivered in the passing game at times during this ball game. He's as good as advertised.
Louisville get the ball to start the second half. Taylor Bertolet, senior from Reading, PA, excuse me, to kick it off. Last 4 possessions for Louisville. Punt, turnover on downs, and then the end of the half. Travion Samuel back to return. Samuel will take a knee. For more on what's going on with Texas A&M, let's go down the field and check in with Laura Rutledge.
Tom, Kevin Sumlin called the first half really sloppy for Texas A&M. He wasn't happy with penalties and also wasn't happy with the way the offensive line was blocking. He said they have to get more run game going, and when they have, they've had success. As for Jake Hubenak, he said he was a little jittery early on, but felt that he settled down pretty nicely toward the end of the half, so they're hoping to carry some of that momentum into the second.
All right, Laura, thank you. A couple of those big penalties were erased on that 97-yard drive.
Yeah.
Thanks to the long run by Trey Carson. was the last score for A&M. Brandon Radcliffe in at tailback, and he's got plenty of room. First play from scrimmage to start the half, and he takes it past midfield, gain of 27. Finally brought down by Devontae Harris.
Well, they went right back to what worked early in the ball game. That's getting Lamar Jackson involved in the spread option, and then it's Radcliffe, the workhorse back of the three, getting him downhill and involved in this offense.
Fourth-year junior out of Miami Columbus High School. Option. Here's Bonifon, the converted quarterback. Richard Moore escorts him out of bounds after a gain of 4.
Well, you're talking about having to learn to run with his pad level down. Bonifon is every bit of 6'3", just about 210 pounds, but it's a different type of running when you play tailback or at running back than it is when you run the zone read at quarterback. You got to have your pad level down so you don't take big shots between your chest or right in the middle of your chest.
Jackson looking for Bonifon, doesn't have a chance to get it to him. Miles Garrett with a second sack for A&M.
Boy, he comes off the football, and there's no chance for the left tackle here. And they want to let him go to get Bonifon the football, but he's there so fast that Lamar Jackson can't make a decision, can't even get rid of the football.
He didn't, left tackle didn't even make eye contact with him. Crossing route, James Quick loses the first man, gets shoved out of bounds and tries to dive for the marker. Armani Watts, good to have him back in the game for A&M. He left in the second quarter with an injury, but back. Gain of 15.
Well, it's third down and now fourth after that play, and it's on the across the 50. All bets are on whether you're going to go for it on fourth down here, and Bobby Petrino trying to establish some early second half momentum for his offense. Watch the two edge players because they're going to want to get Jackson on the edges. It's Garrett and Hall.
Play action. Jackson over the middle, incomplete. Louisville crowd wants a flag. It never comes. Justin Evans was over the back of Mickey Crum. Was he there early?
Bobby Petrino thinks so, and he's going down to tell the officials exactly what he's thinking. Trying to get him to the edge, invite the rush. There's the crosser underneath, the right hand on the back by Evans right there. That's the pass interference that was missed. Can't hook a receiver and then propel yourself forward to get a hand on the football.
So the Cardinals turn it over on downs for the second time tonight. Jake Hubenak trying to find some momentum. Bobby Petrino is letting his crew have it. 1st and 10. The perimeter. And a 7-yard gain to Edward Pope. Only 5 catches on the season for Pope. Well, find some depth with the receivers.
Rick Spavital is finding some easy throws for Jake Hubenak, and he's taking advantage of the perimeter with just some nice hitch routes that these receivers are turning into big gains.
Yeah, trying to get the running game going. 3rd and 1 coming up next after a 2-yard gain by Trey Carson. And we got some pushing and shoving. Jermaine Illuminor is back on the field for Texas A&M. He exited during the last series for the Aggies.
You see the corners adjust and come up in press coverage.
Big hit, doesn't matter. Hubenak has it, and he carries it for a first down. They keyed on Carson. James Hearns blasted the Aggie running back, and Hubenak slid right by.
Well, thank goodness Jake Hubenak sensed it, saw the defender crashing down inside, and it was a nice easy read once he pulled it to pick up the first.
Hubenak airs one out. It is intercepted. Josh Harvey Clemens hauls it in. Second turnover for the Aggies.
Watch the eyes of Jake Hubenak. He never takes them off Christian Kirk. From the time he drops back, to the time the ball is delivered, he never looked back, never looked at another receiver. You see him here? Look at the eyes. Stared him down, and you can't do that to a safety the caliber of Josh Harvey Clemens.
Third pick of the season for the Georgia transfer. He had 2 against Auburn in the opener.
He is first-round talent. Set out 2014, as you mentioned, transferring from Georgia. He can play both safety spots, drop down and play linebacker in their star position. Versatile player.
Jackson keeps it on the read. Gets swamped from behind by Jarrett Johnson, but a gain of 7. 3rd and 3 now.
Big down for both teams. We're at A&M. We need the football back to get some points. Stop Louisville on a big turnover.
Jackson has it again in the first down. He is taking off, outrunning everybody. They're going to mark him out of bounds back at the 29-yard line. 37-yard run.
Have I said it tonight that this kid is special? I mean, you go crashing down inside. Sean Washington loses contain, and Lamar Jackson's going to make you pay.
186 yards on the ground for Lamar Jackson. He's averaging better than 12 yards a run. Oh, lost his footing there. Loss of 3.
Well, I tell you what, Brandon Ratcliffe plays with a chip. Watch all the way through the end of this. Little mix up. He's trying to pull it as Dalen Mack makes a play. And then there's a little bit of extra going on between Ratcliffe and Dalen Mack. And I think you leave the big fella alone at 6'1", 335. That's not a battle you can win.
Option, little bit behind Radcliffe, and he turns it upfield anyway. Just to get back to the line of scrimmage, Quaylen Cunningham and Myles Garrett stretch him out.
They're lucky to just pick up or get just back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a half-yard gain, but that's maybe the only time I think Lamar Jackson doesn't attack. They go to the pure option. You have to attack the end man on the line of scrimmage.
Well, he hasn't run a lot of option this season. Primarily zone reads when he's getting his carries. 3rd and 9. Garrett and Hall wanting to tee off here. Pressure coming. Garrett got the hit. They get it away complete to Hikatuni.
How about that? They bring the blitz. They bring pressure. This young man stands in the face of the blitz, knowing where his hot route is, and watch him see. He sees it. The ball's out with accuracy. Easy throw and catch for Louisville.
Hikatuni with his first career 100-yard game on just 3 receptions. Jackson has it. Plants, fires end zone. Touchdown, Louisville. A 17-yard strike to Keith Tobridge.
They use all 3 tight ends. Hikatini with a big catch for the first down. Mickey Kroom has had a reception. And then now Keith Tobridge with a nice touchdown grab.
3rd touchdown of the season for Tobridge. Lamar Jackson has thrown for 2 touchdowns. He's run for 2. Extra point is good. 7 plays, 73 yards, 2 minutes and 54 seconds off the clock. Hikatuni with the big grab, and then Tobridge coming right into your living room. Cardinals on a roll tonight in Nashville.
227 yards. You see the 2 touchdown passes, no interceptions. And oh yeah, on the ground, 16 rushes, 182 yards. That's 11.5 yards a carry. and another 2 touchdowns.
Last 2 games combined, 33 carries, 368 yards, and 4 touchdowns.
What a way to introduce yourself to the college football world.
Here's Justin Evans. Goes head first to the 25, Laura.
Tom, Louisville defensive coordinator Todd Grantham is obviously pleased with Josh Harvey-Clemons' interception, but he was quick to tell his defense to calm down because he said, look, this will be our most crucial drive of the game. We have Jake Hubenak on his heels. We have to continue to bring the pressure. He wants to see his defense continue to play aggressively throughout this game.
All right, Laura, thank you. And there was a lot of aggression at the tail end of that kick return. Sam Miller, who wears famous number 12 for Texas A&M, got into it right after this.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised somebody didn't get ejected here. There's a Louisville player
pulled Miller down by his face mask.
Yep, and actually throwing a punch.
See if they can keep Hubenak on his heels. James White picks up 2. Louisville started its season 0-3 for the first time since 1984. It was a disastrous beginning to the season, but it could be a fantastic finish for the Cards. They've won 5 of 6, and they've got a lead headed to the 4th quarter against Texas A&M. Louisville with a 27-14 lead on Texas A&M as we get ready to start the 4th quarter. Tom Hart alongside Heisman winner Andre Ware. It's really simple when you compare where both of these teams are right now. They each had quarterback issues and couldn't find the right guy. Louisville solved their quarterback issues. Texas A&M still hasn't.
I think they're still, we thought we were going to get a peek into the future with Jake Hubenak. I think it'll be a competition in the spring. First, you got to go sign some guys.
Yeah.
And we talked to Kevin Sumlin about that, just that. They didn't want to sign a quarterback in 2016 when Kyler Murray and Kyle Allen were on campus. Now they're gone. You got to sign 2, is what he told us, to compete with Jake Hubenak going into next year. So you got the entire spring, summer workouts, fall camp, and then we see who's the next quarterback at Texas A&M.
And now to Kirk. Kirk hesitated and then burst up the sideline, and they'll give him the first down right at midfield.
Rarely does the first defender bring him down. You're in space with him, forget about it. You just try to hold him up, cause that hesitation you talked about, and then wait on help.
Hubenak has a man, leaping catch and a first down. Josh Reynolds.
So good. Came into this game, 40 receptions, 730 yards, and 5 TDs. And watch him body right there, body the ball to keep the defender away from it. It hangs in the air so long that he's got to body it up to keep himself between the ball and the defender.
36-yard completion, the longest pass of the night for Texas A&M. Hubenak pressured from behind, gets tripped up and dropped by Devontae Fields.
What a player.
5th sack of the night for Louisville.
He hadn't lost a step, has he? Left TCU. Went to junior college, Trinity Valley Community College, and then on to Louisville, and he fits perfectly in Todd Grantham's 3-4 defense.
And Jake Hubenak may have gotten up a little gimpy after that ankle tackle. Fields has 3 sacks to himself. 2nd and 19. Trey Carson. Stuffed by Stacy Thomas and friends.
Usually, when Carson attacks the line of scrimmage, the pile goes forward. Tonight, on a couple of occasions, with the exception of a run that he got a couple of good blocks at 50-plus yard run. He has been stymied at the line of scrimmage. When they meet him, the momentum stops instantly. And that's not Trey Carson.
What kind of pressure will Louisville dial up here? Line holds. Hubenek airs it out. Too strong out of the back of the end zone. Edward Pope.
Well, they double up on Christian Kirk. They're worried about him. And Reynolds at the top of that formation getting loose. They take both safeties and leave the middle of the field open to get help on the slot receiver Kirk and the wide receiver out right, Josh Reynolds. So basically taking your shot with Pope that you could cover up one-on-one with him.
This will be a 39-yard attempt for Taylor Bertolet. His long this season is 55. Win not a factor. Stays wide. He never had it. Connor McQueen, the holder. That one was never inside the upright. And despite having that film, A&M couldn't figure out how to stop it. You know, there's a lot of chatter out there right now in the coaching world, Andre, especially with Chip Kelly being fired from the Eagles. Will he return to the college game? And if so, where does he fit? Maybe it's in Austin.
Anywhere it's he wants to.
Well, true. Maybe it's in College Station. Kevin Sumlin has 4 years left and just north of $20 million left on his contract.
I know a lot of schools and coaches grimaced when the Philadelphia Eagles let Chip Kelly go yesterday. He can certainly operate on this level. Now, he has voiced that he wants to stay in the NFL. Maybe he ends up right here in Nashville with the Tennessee Titans and a quarterback he coached in college. And Marcus Mariota, last year's Heisman winner.
Given what you know about Chip Kelly and his personality, is there any place at the collegiate level that may be open within the next couple of years where he would be a fit?
Oh, I think there are a few jobs or a few coaches going into 2016 that are going to be certainly under the microscope and on the hot seat. And you're scratching your head about coming into this game with your third-string quarterback. One of those places might be A&M. I think Charlie Strong at Texas is going to have one of those years where he's looked at seriously by the powers that be.
Here's Lamar Jackson. He continues with his record-setting night. Ball popped out by Armani Watts, but it will stay with Louisville. It's a 23-yard run.
Just watch him here. Eyes down the field. It's a quarterback draw all the way, and you sell it with your eyes looking down the field, inviting the rush. Now, that's one time he had the ball in the left hand, the field hand, and that invites the defense to attack the football. Switch it over, get it in that outside hand. It never touches the ground.
To continue the discussion on Sumlin, how much heat does he deserve and this coaching staff deserve for what happened with their two five-star recruits, both of them transferring? There was some thought by midway through the season, maybe after Kyler Murray had his blow up on the sideline against Alabama, that College Station wasn't going to be the place for him going forward. But for Kyle Allen to leave as well and to lose two guys that I mean, unless you can find a graduate transfer, an immediate impact guy, that has to set your program back.
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, we talked about it, before the game. You and I are sharing some thoughts, but everybody at this point in the season, they have a guy. And in college, in the NFL, they call it a franchise guy. With the exception of a guy like Leonard Fournette at LSU, the face of a college program is usually the quarterback. And if you have instability there, you can't go win football games because you can't move the football without one. That's on every level.
It is a tradition-rich program with maybe unrivaled support. So for a kid who's invested already in the program to decide I'd be better off somewhere else, I think that casts a big shadow over the program. Well, there were red flags around this program and at the quarterback position all season long. We saw it early in the year when there just didn't seem to be that support. It was a true competition, and neither kid was used to sitting. Myles Garrett with the tackle. He had some thoughts on that. Let's go down to Laura.
Myles Garrett told me earlier in the year around Halloween, right before Kyler Murray's first start, which was against South Carolina, that he just hoped the right guy got the start. He sensed at that point some issues with the quarterback position, and he said that when all of this happened, they all sensed a little bit of it coming. But he said his message to the team has been, don't everybody else jump ship just because these guys decided to leave. He feels like the team has gelled from that standpoint. He's still trying to be a strong leader.
You can fool the fans. You can fool other people, the media. You can't fool the locker room. And you certainly can't fool a guy like Myles Garrett.
Johnny Manziel started spinning that carousel when he won the Heisman. It still hasn't stopped. Louisville has been teeing off tonight. 5 sacks for the Cardinals defense, and Devontae Fields, the leader.
Yeah, they really started to play with some emotion as soon as this game was kicked off and just harassed Jake Hubenek all night long. Fields with another sack. Start at the end of the third quarter.
He's got 3 of them. You mentioned he was the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. He left, was dismissed from TCU after his connection to domestic violence incident, and then had to lift and work out on his own on his way to junior college, and then to get to Louisville. Hubenek flies one on the run, and that is complete all the way out to the 36-yard line. Talking with the Louisville coaches, Todd Grantham said, you know, here's a guy, Devontae Fields, that really, when he started the season, wasn't 100%. So his production in the second half of the season to get back into football shape has been a difference maker for the Cardinals. This one's complete to Reynolds.
Boy, he is a fine receiver. He's an outstanding route runner. Catches the ball with his hands, knows how to use his body at 6'4", and has tremendous speed.
153 yards of receiving for Reynolds. Trey Carson cuts back, and he's able to pick up a first down.
You know, we just talked about Louisville's pass rush. Where I've been impressed with them is the ability to slow down the big fella here. He had that big run, but every other carry, he has earned it tonight.
Carson stuck on 98 yards rushing. Here's Pope. Put his hand down to try and turn upfield, and he got spun around twice by the Louisville defense. Gain of 6. The Louisville defensive staff went all the way back to the tapes of Hubenek at junior college, the Blinn junior college tapes. Remember, Blinn's known for some great quarterbacks. Michael Bishop helped Willie Fritz, then the head coach, to a junior college national championship at Blinn, and a guy by the name of Cam Newton ended up there after his stint at Florida before Auburn. Carson spins another first down.
Now that's the Trey Carson I know. He's lowering the boom on people.
Over the century mark on the ground is Carson. Christian Kirk. Clemens held him up just long enough for Chucky Williams to get to him. A loss of 1.
And that's how you stop him in the open field. You got to just hold him up, force him to hesitate, and wait on some help. Stay in front of him. Don't let him make a move and then spin and get going, because you're not going to catch the kid.
Here comes Clemens on the blitz. Hubenek on time to Reynolds. Turns the corner and gets dragged down by Tremaine Washington. A&M offense has had rhythm at times tonight, but they just haven't been able to put it together drive after drive.
And this is one of those drives that has to end in a touchdown. I mean, look, if you want to get back in this football game, you got to put the ball in the end zone right now with under 5 minutes left in the ball game.
Down 2 scores, 5 minutes to go. Hubenek down the sideline. Kirk's got it. Touchdown. A&M, a 29-yard strike.
Just like that. They go corner blitz. Jake Hubenek recognizes the corner blitz coming from Tremaine Washington. Nobody has an answer for the out and up by Christian Kirk. Safety's too late. Easy throw and catch.
7th touchdown of the season for Christian Kirk. Taylor Bertolette for the extra point. They cap an 8-play, 86-yard scoring drive with a touchdown pass from Jake Hubenak to Christian Kirk.
Well, I thought there was an offsides on the true freshman Alexander on that field goal attempt.
A&M is within 6. That missed extra point in the first quarter looming large now. Aggies back in the game. So one possession game now with 4:54 to go. Louisville up by 6.
And be on alert for an onside kick. You know, it doesn't make sense right now to do it, but that's when it usually happens. So you're on alert just for it. Just fine with it being kicked deep and play defense and try to get the football back.
Taylor Bertolette to kick it off. Kicks it deep. And a chance for a return. Travion Samuel fights his way to the 19-yard line.
It's a big series here. Going to have to continue the production if they're going to win this ball game. A&M a low momentum.
Here's Jackson again. Since 2000, in every college football game played, there have only been 11 players who have turned in a night like Lamar Jackson has tonight. And we're talking about names like Johnny Football, Denard Robinson, Pat White, Vince Young, Brad Smith, and Antoine Randall L.
Oh, Vince Young doing it twice.
And this kid is a freshman. Enzel and Young were the only two to do it in the postseason. Second down 4. Straight ahead. A&M stands tall. That's going to bring up third down. Timeout, Texas A&M. Watts and Garrett combine for the stop. Jackson to throw. Incomplete.
First ball all night. He's thrown where you see him try to guide the ball as opposed to throwing it. Watch his motion totally change. See that? Just trying to guide it in there, wishing it. Just stroke that baby in there to Jalen Smith. Make the throw. All these numbers we're talking about doesn't mean it. Doesn't mean a thing if you don't win the football game. And on third down, that's where you earn the respect of your teammates and coaches.
Appleby to kick it away. Kirk, always dangerous returner waiting. He's been forced to take a fair catch nearly every time tonight.
A little early with it, though.
Complete for an Aggie first down to Josh Reynolds.
Need a play, throw to number 11. This kid just puts fear in defensive backs.
Looking at him again. Oh, it was right there. Alexander on the coverage. Should have been another first down.
I think Josh Reynolds was expecting that football out in front. And you got the safety there. Looking at that, that should have been caught with the flat drop.
Yeah, 10 catches on 16 targets tonight for Reynolds. To Kirk. Had to leave his feet to haul it in.
Well, he's still not right. He went out with that knee injury earlier in the game, trying to fight through it and stay on the field.
3rd and 6.
Nice matchup. Christian Kirk and Josh Harvey Clemens.
Hubenak delivers on time to Ricky Seals-Jones for a first down. He is spreading it around. 3 different receivers this drive.
Yeah, and he's really gotten comfortable in this second half. You see him here. That's a confident throw right there. Stepping into it as you mold a shotgun snap. delivering it with confidence.
300-yard game for Hubenek. Pressure coming. They had the screen. He just couldn't get it to Trey Carson.
I think he lost him in the congestion. A lot of A&M linemen that got out free after the rush. You see the blitz coming from the quarterback's right, left of your screen. It's perfectly set up if he can find a way to get it to Carson.
Carson couldn't get around the 300-pounder Rankins. 2nd and 10.
Nice matchup at the top. Kirk and Clemens here.
Hubenek flushed. Fires on the run. Complete to Reynolds. Turns it. Had to come back for it to begin with. It's going to leave 3rd down and 5. Jair Alexander with the coverage.
This movement by Jake Hubenek to get himself free, and a nice delivery of the football, and Josh Reynolds working back for his quarterback to bail him out, making it a shorter 3rd down situation here.
Trying to get it to Seals Jones. Little hand fighting and a flag. Josh Harvey Clemens had him tied up.
First down for Texas A&M. A little hand fighting.
Prior to the pass, holding, number 25, defense. 10-yard penalty. First down.
It's a little bit too long.
Andre, the last 2 drives, the Aggie offense has been a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
What changed?
I think it's the quarterback settling in, receivers making plays, the ball's in your vicinity, tough catches are being made. Josh Reynolds, I would point right to him, and then Seals Jones with all that size starting to come to life, or he did in the 2nd half of this ball game.
Big 4th quarter for A&M. Fresh set of downs. 2:18 to go, down 6. Over the middle. Incomplete. Remember, we're in this situation, by the way, only down 6 because Louisville missed an extra point in the 1st quarter. It was the first miss in 96 attempts for their senior kicker, John Wallace.
There it is. Laces pointed right at the kicker. He hits it well, but it just pulls it to the left. He actually made an extra point later in the game. The Laces were facing him as well.
That was his 2nd touchdown of the day for Louisville. Made it 13-0 instead of 14-0. Hubenek. Deep down the sideline. Incomplete. Reynolds, the intended receiver. Chucky Williams and Jermaine Reeve converged on him.
Well, Chucky Williams has played a nice ball game on the back end. They go with the corner blitz and bring Alexander from the corner. And on 2 occasions, working against Josh Reynolds, it's been Chucky Williams working on the back end. One, he pushed him out of bounds, and that one to break up a play.
3rd down 10.
You can best believe heat's coming on Hubenek.
Batted, incomplete. Devontae Fields got a mitt on it.
Well, you got to go for it here. You want the football. You want to win the game. You can't afford to punt it and then Louisville run the timeout. But they delay it. They run a game. And it's the big fella, Devontae Fields, who's back off his defensive end, or he lined him up on the line of scrimmage. He circled all the way back and just read the quarterback's eyes. This could be the ball game for A&M.
Zone blitz, Hubenek over the middle. Drops, but incomplete. Turnover on downs. We'll get a flag in the backfield.
Maybe is it a late hit on the quarterback? As there was a blitz.
Personal foul. Hands to the face, number 99, defense.
Wow!
15-yard penalty, and an automatic first down.
It's James Hearns, who's had a monster game and a new lease for A&M.
Well, you get off the field on 3rd down. Let's see if we see it. That's the middle of the screen here. There's 99 continuing to work. 94, there it is. Good call by the officials.
Tenth penalty to cost Louisville 90 yards. They get it out to Kirk. He's got some blockers. And gets tripped up just past the line of scrimmage. Tremaine Washington fighting his way for the open field tackle, gain of 2.
What a play by Washington, as he was blocked, got chopped down by Pope, the receiver. Edward Pope chopped him down, and I thought Kirk was going to have some room to work. Washington got up and made the tackle for a 1-yard gain.
Hubenek over the middle. Caught by Christian Kirk, his 11th catch of the night. And it'll be at the 6-yard line.
How about the
First
courage,
and goal, A&M.
the courage, the guts of this young true freshman. And I think this one, they got to take a look at this. This may have touched the ground.
After review, the receiver did not maintain firm control of the ball when he left the ground. The incomplete pass is 3rd and 9 at the 25-yard line. Please set the game clock to 148.
Cards fans happy, but they're not out of the woods yet. Officially, they're going to call this 3rd and 9.
If you're Jake Hubenek, expect some pressure. A lot of bodies in here. Grantham has some exotic looks and ways to get to the quarterback.
5 sacks tonight for the Cardinals defense.
Identify, where's 92? There he is. Watch him, Fields.
Fields has 3 sacks of his own. Here he comes up the middle. Hubenek. Incomplete. Trying to find Christian Kirk on a crossing route, and that'll leave 4th and 9.
I think maybe it was Fields who got a hand on the football. He blitzed late. Watch 92. He's coming around. Matthews picks him up. Can't get there. Yep, 92 with another big play.
Second one he's batted down in this 4th quarter.
What a player.
Pressure up the middle. Hubenek dials end zone. Nobody there. Louisville holds. Reynolds was locked up by Jair Alexander.
Try to go to the guy that's made plays for him all night. Give Josh Reynolds a chance on 4th and 9, and it's just overthrown. I think actually Christian Kirk was in a better spot to make the play than the intended receiver, Josh Reynolds.
It brings to an end a 13-play, 55-yard drive for Texas A&M with the game on the line.
Well, they put their best defensive back on A&M's most explosive receiver, the freshman Kirk, working against Josh Harvey-Clemens, and then it leaves on the outside one-on-one. There, Alexander one-on-one with Reynolds, and he answers the bell.
They go to the I formation. Brandon Radcliffe gang tackled.
And smart not to go out of bounds.
Kevin Sumlin forced to use a timeout. He'll have 1 remaining. Clock stops at 1:27. Back to the ground game. Deshaun Hall, first man to stop Brandon Radcliffe. Historic night for Lamar Jackson tonight relative to the postseason. For a quarterback with 200 yards passing and rushing in a bowl game, he joins Johnny Manziel and Vince Young. That is in FBS history.
Two pretty good ones to have your name associated with. I expect Louisville here to give a zone read to Lamar Jackson. Get him on the edges where, one, he can pick up the first down himself by running, or he extends the play, chews up some clock, and they're able to punt the football. They'll probably take a delay of game penalty to run it down even more, and then punt and play defense if he doesn't pick it up with this on this third down in this third down situation.
3rd and 3. He's got it. He's got the edge, and Lamar Jackson has a first down.
That'll do it.
Wow. A fitting finish for the freshman.
Shows it inside all night. They've crashed. They get guys to the edge to try to stop him, overrunning the play. That allows Lamar Jackson to pick up the first down with ease. It was Claude George who's trying to close from inside out to stop it.
Six 100-yard rush games this season for Lamar Jackson. And the latest, the greatest. A career high 226 yards on just 22 carries. And through the air, 227 yards on only 12 completions. Louisville will close the season having won 6 of its last 7 games. After an 0-3 start, their worst start since 1984, they finished with a flourish. And if you want to go ahead and buy a preview magazine for next season, Louisville's going to be towards the top of the rankings.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And he's going to be on a lot of covers of magazines going into 2016, and rightfully so. We got a chance to see him on tape before this game, and it was as good as advertised.
That's refreshing. Bobby Petrino with a postseason win, and Louisville poised for great things going forward, if not just tonight. Once again, our final. Cardinals 27, Aggies 21. Coming up next, the National Funding Holiday Bowl between USC and Wisconsin. You can tune into our post-game trophy ceremony presented by Capital One. Coming up next on ESPN3. Cardinals with the win. They lead from beginning to end. Good night from Nashville. Now Adam Amin in San Diego.